So, if you guys have been following me for a little bit, you might know that I just recently moved. So today, I got a chance. We're out on some public property. I'm walking around, and I got an idea in mind. I e-scouted, and we're gonna walk around and see if we can find any sign of any deer. I do have mock scrape system, a way that I want to do it. I don't actually have my fluid stuff right now. I need to order it. I'm not too worried about it right now. I'll come in here, figure out a spot I want to put it, come back in end of September and apply it and put a camera on it. I'm not going to put a camera on it on here until then. I don't know what it is, but something about these deer in the Upper Peninsula that I've noticed, they are not scrape active or like dependent until you get to the middle end of September. I had a scrape out last year. I put one out in July, never got hit until October. I've had other ones get hit at the end of September. So it's a horse apiece, each area, but I've had the most activity obviously in October. But I want to come out here and do my scouting prior, so I know exactly where I want to put it. So for an example here, guys, you can see in here, it turns into like a hemlock swamp right in there. But if you look at this edge, you got hemlock swamp, and then you got more hardwoods. I'm gonna follow this edge, and it also happens to follow the contour of like a hill, like a topo map. I can show you right up here. Follows along the edge of the swamp. So we're gonna follow the edge. Edge is where I want to look. And also, for those of you that don't know this, up here in the UP, these hemlocks are a good source of food for deer. They love to eat the little tiny pine cones that are on them. At least I think that's what they eat. They eat that or the needles. They love to eat them. Not only that, but they're a great source of thermal coverage for when the snow starts hitting. So a canopy like this, that are all just filled with hemlocks in here, and you can see how low all the branches are in here. It's going to keep the snow lower in here, so it's easier for them to walk, and there's going to be food. So, all right, guys. Well, it ain't much, but it's enough for me to kind of put two and two together. I don't know if anyone else has heard this, but I've heard that deer poop, if it's in the big clumps, that it's a buck. Well, there's that. And it also looks decently fresh. I mean, I would say decently fresh. And I don't know about you, but it seems evident to me. You got the hill and you got the flatland. This deer is cruising. I can almost see a path, between right there, where his poop is in the middle, and there's going to be a trail. And he's going to take it and go, right up over there. That's what I see anyway. I'm going to keep following over here, over down that way, and look for any more evidence of bedding or anything like that. But if I had to bet, I would say that's a buck poop. So let's keep on rolling. So for me, it still might be a little too early for me to tell, but we got a branch here. I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to. And another branch right here. And the ground is a little bit tore up right here. It is also at the corner. So this comes straight and then it goes that way and then it goes that way. And I've seen the poop over there, but you can definitely tell we got a track right there, track right there. They've been running right through this spot. So I'm thinking that this could be a good spot to set up a scrape. As far as sitting it, maybe up in one of these maples right here, or back in that one right there. Maybe back up in here behind this hemlock. But it's an idea, I'm going to mark it on my map and just keep it up here, and we're going to keep looking. We're going to keep searching. I know it might be hard to tell, but I can definitely tell that deer have been running through here. It might be hard to tell for some people who are on the video even, but you can tell that right there is for sure a hoof print. And right in here, there's indentations of claw marks from the hooves. So they've definitely been cruising around this hill here. So not a bad place, not a bad place from what I'm looking at. All right, so another thing that you guys need to watch out for while we're doing the scouting is we need to look up, and we need to look at these leaves. Now, what is that? Anyone? Anyone? It's an oak tree. Yeah. Okay, now watch this. We already got one that's fallen. She's green. And oak tree, oak tree, oak. I mean, there's more in here. So another good food option for deer. And like I said, you guys want to be in these oak trees as soon as you got season, right? And if you can sit there and in 5 minutes you can hear kind of sounds like, hey, did it start raining just lightly or something? Those are acorns falling. If you can hear those acorns falling and you're sitting there hunting it, one of the best chances to hunt acorns or oaks is when you can hear them falling. They will be there to get the fresh acorns. All right. So, for instance, right up there is an old clear cut, a bunch of hemlocks and oak trees. And if you can see behind me here, what is that? That is bedding if I have ever seen it in my life. There's supposed to be a little pond right over there. Right over there. I'm going to try to follow this edge and see if I can get a clear look at the pond, but bedding, as clear as day. I mean, if you're a big buck and you want to be in some thick cover, that's where you're going to be. So you got to find where they enter and exit their bed more often than not, because they're obviously not going to follow the game plan all the time. So you just need to try to find a spot that they might frequent or a spot that they might use on a certain wind. So that entails on scouting that way and that way, but I'm going to go that way first. And then you got to try to set up a spot, coming in and out of it. That's the game plan. So I walked up just a little bit and I'm trying to identify some tracks there, but you can obviously see here this is a little bear. I mean, my hand's bigger than his paw. Opal, come on. I don't got anything to keep you clean this time. I was trying to show him the other tracks and you're walking all over him, man. Yeah, I don't know. She walked over. There was other tracks in there. I didn't know what they were. There's some raccoon and stuff, but you can see there's a heavy path that goes right there. It must be beaver. You can see the fresh beaver chews right there, or muskrat. But yeah, that right there, you got a bear paw. And you can see the little stream goes back there a ways. Goes back in there pretty far. It's supposed to be a whole pond right over there. So I'm gonna keep following the edge. I am kind of surprised yet that I have not seen a rub from last year. Obviously not this year yet. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep looking, see what we can find. Oh boys, I just scared a woodcock right from right there. I mean, I never even seen it, but flushed out would have gave me a shot here. But this is what that opening where that pond is supposed to look like here. That's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Wouldn't be a bad rifle sit if you could see along the other edge. And then I obviously, if they come down, I have to get some water. Possible scrapes along the edge of the clearing here. Well, I just seen a duck over there. But yeah, this is definitely a little runway that cuts down in there and comes out from this edge. So that's what that looks like. So there's one thing that I'm not really liking, is that the further I got closer to this pond, the more bear sign that I've really seen, and the less deer. Get out of there. Get out of there. I really thought that there would be some rubs or something along this water. Thought I just heard something. But doesn't seem to be happening. So keep looking, I guess. Not what I was expecting. And obviously this is why you always gotta e-scout and come and check it out for yourself. But the reason there wasn't that much deer activity along this, between that opening and this hill, is because look at all these rocks. I mean, a deer's gonna take the easiest path it possibly can to get to where it wants to go, you know, as long as it's not being pressured. And it ain't that way, because I feel like a deer definitely twists their ankle in there. There's nothing but rocks. I mean, that wasn't even the worst of it there. There was quite a bit of rocks back there, easy tripping, and, you know, small holes for their hooves to slide into. So that could be a reason why I didn't see many or much sign over there. So we're gonna round this hill that I want to do, and then I'm gonna take the bottom half around on the other side all the way back, as long as it's not too hard to travel, because it is in that clear cut, I think. So we'll see what it looks like, and then I think that's about all I'm gonna do scouting this area. I got an idea of where I would like to set up if I wasn't here, or where I want to put a camera. We'll say that I have an idea where I want to set a camera. So with that being said, maybe I'll find a better spot yet, but we're gonna stick to the plan right now. So this is how thick it is when I'm talking about how thick this old clear cut is. Like, you can see, if you were a deer and you wanted to spend your summertime in here bedding, you know, you can't. It's easy to hide. It's easy to hide in here. Easy to hide, and there was raspberries on the edge of this cut. So you got food right there. You got water right there. A very good habitat that can be home to a whitetail. A lot of things, matter of fact, but with the hilly terrain too, it makes it even better for bucks. They like to use the hilly terrain. They like to use the thermals. They like to use it for bedding purposes, so they can get the wind in their favor around that hill. Everything is very favorited for a buck here right now. But we're going to keep going along the bottom, the opposite side that I did on the way in, and see if we see anything. Kind of hard to see anything in here though. Wow. Thick. Take a look at this, guys. I don't think I can do this. This is so thick in here. I think I got to get back up to where I was if I want to get out of here, because even the ground is covered with like cut up, just like a clear cut, This is bad. Got to get out of here. And I just wanted to mention another thing that I do for anyone that might be new to anything is, obviously I'm recording and I'm speaking at full volume. That is because in this kind of thick vegetation and the amount of berries that are up here, oh, there's bound to be a bear. I mean, I've seen the track, I've seen the poop down there already. You know, they were here at one time, probably, you know. You can see tracks, you can see whatever, them laying down. I mean, there's fresh berries right here. Fresh raspberries. So, what I'm trying to get at is, even when I'm not recording like this, I'm talking to Opal and I'm like, good girl, you know, good girl. A human voice does a lot, okay? I don't got nothing on me. I ain't got that, and I ain't got a knife. So, just my phone, my fists, and Opal, my voice. So, just, hey, Op, yep, you know, just because of how thick it is in here. I mean, there could be one laying down right there, and I'd never see him, you know, until he was wanting to see me. So, that's just another tip for people starting, like right here. Look at this. What do you think this is? I mean, somebody was laying down here. It honestly looks more like a deer, but somebody was laying down. There's a little path there and a little path going out there. Because looks to be like a little bed there, a little bed or something right there. These are probably does. Look at here, there's something laying down right there for sure. You know, these are probably deer actually. So, well, we can mark that down. I think these are, yeah, because I don't think this is a bear necessarily. There's a bunch of them bedding together. Doesn't mean a bear can't lay in separate spots, but if I had to guess, I would say these are deer and does because of the multiple beds. So, makes sense too. Lower valley over there, we're up on the highness here. It's still really thick, so good bedding spot. I'll mark it down on the map. Well, there is a chance that I was wrong. There's a chance I was wrong about that. Because looks to be a lot of, that's my second pile I've seen up here. My second pile that I've seen up here. So we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep talking nice and loud. And I'm going to get out of this stuff and I'm going to get over into the woods where I can see, you know, 200 feet around me. Because over here, I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't want the mystery, you know. I better be recording if something happens. Take this way. Oh, geez, see, this is what I mean though. If you're not on that little path, this is horrible. You can't even see the ground that you're stepping on. It's pretty bad in here. And Opal's trying to walk, but she's freaking getting sticks in the face because she ain't tall enough. And I just want to get right over to those woods over there. But there's an issue. There is an issue. The freaking terrain is unforgiving in this. This is absurd. You see Opal there. Some more oak trees right over there. This is absurd, man. Definitely, they could still be deer beds up there. They still could be because they look kind of small, but could also be bear cubs, I suppose, just rolling around eating berries. I'm just trying to get right over there so that I can. Oh, we almost biffed her. Look at all these just sticks. Like Opal, she can't even walk hardly. I mean, it is so hard to get a footing in here because you don't know where your next footstep is going to go, really. Holy smokes. This kind of seals the deal for me. Deer aren't coming in here. They'll come around the edges, but they aren't coming through this, you know, unless there's actual trails in here, which there is up top where I was talking about before. But I decided to get off of that trail because I think a bear is using the trail also. Not sure when, but I don't want to be on it, especially without something to protect myself. But there's the woods right there. I'll get in there and it'll be open and I can finally head back the way I came. There, me and Opal finally made it. Now we can walk, you know. Still a couple sticks, but okay. Yeah, way better than that stuff over there. Holy smokes. But we're gonna cruise the side of this clear cut like I did on the walk in. Only difference is obviously we're facing a different way. And I mean, yeah, I try to catch everything when I'm walking in, right? But getting a new perspective and coming back at a different angle, I've definitely picked up scrapes or rubs that I didn't see on the way in before. You know, check it over twice, sometimes 3 times. And you might have missed something. So if you think it's a waste of time, I was through there once, do it again. You might have missed something. Well, you don't want to know what the position I'm in right now. All I can say is I gotta use this. I didn't bring TP, and I'm still a quarter mile from the truck. Bring TP. Also, if you have the feeling before you go on a walk, you should probably just use the latrine at the house, right? Probably be a better idea. Well, now that I got over that obstacle, I can finish scouting on my way out of here. And because the clear cut is actually over there now, the hill or terrain that I want to follow the baseline of goes that way. So I can actually stick to the opposite side like I wanted to before, because it goes straight back that way and cuts into the clear cut. So now I can actually stick to this side, see what happens. Well guys, that scouting trip was less than ideal for multiple reasons. These bugs keep going right into my eye, man. You see it in there? Keep going right in my eyes. It was less than ideal for multiple reasons. I'm almost back to the truck now, but just because I didn't see that much sign doesn't mean that there can't be big bucks, okay? And just because you see a lot of sign doesn't mean that's where he lives. It could be where he visits during the night. Don't get me wrong. That's what happened to me last year. And then, showed up like 3 times in the day and I wasn't there. But you guys need to get out, scout, get boots on the ground. It's way better than e-scouting. Well, I wouldn't say better. It has its place. You need to do both. We'll say that. You need to do both. But I'm about back to the truck now, so we'll catch you next time.